I'm Dr. Amir Khan from Doctors Worldwide. I'm present here today to show you around the hospital that has been constructed by the Doctors Worldwide organisation, a facility that will provide healthcare to the local children who live in this area. A bit of background information about this hospital. The area that we're located in is 3 kilometers from New Balakot city. Now, Balakot was destroyed by the earthquake in 2005. Where we are located at the moment, just adjacent to us, is the main road, and there's a free eye hospital present in the neighbourhood. Now I'm just going to give you a quick tour of the actual hospital itself. The hospital itself the construction was commenced in February of 2010 after a number of different needs assessments were performed. Consultation with the local stakeholders, the local population was initiated, and as you can see here, obviously the main entrance is there are 2 entrances, one to the left and one there just behind that pillar, obstructed by a certain number of bricks that are present. As you work your way around, I will take you into the actual structure itself. Now this structure is comprised of a basement, which we'll go to towards the end, the ground floor, and just on top of this we're making a first floor. The basement itself, we will talk about that later. Currently we're on the ground floor and we're just making our way up to the main veranda of this building, and we're going towards one of the entrances. On either side you can see that there are rooms, and these rooms will predominantly be rooms where patients will be seen by the clinicians in the outpatients department. Unfortunately, because of the lack of light, it's not possible to see everything very clearly, but we're in a position just about to make out some of the different rooms, so the light's coming through. Give an example of this room here. And we'll just work our way around to the other side here. Sangha. Okay, we'll just work our way around this area. And this will essentially be a lift. You can see that. I'm just going around here. The other rooms are present. Just around here we've got a few more other consultation rooms, outpatient department rooms, similar to what we've just seen. They all have their own separate entrances. Plenty of light coming in from the outside, and that will lead to one of the exits just there. Now we'll just make our way upstairs. Got a staircase present here. Well, thankfully it's a bit more brighter as we work our way up. You can see the steps. Now we're here present on the actual roof itself, where the second floor will be, or the first floor will be constructed. This will be the actual inpatient ward, which will provide services for patients who are admitted into the hospital, or potentially either on the ground floor or the first floor. We will provide the X-ray facilities, diagnostic facilities, a laboratory, dispensary, pharmacy, and as you can see, it's a very tough structure that's been constructed here. And some of these steel rods that have been used. It's an earthquake prone area. Now the cost used to construct this building has been quite significant. The reason being, to provide a structure that's earthquake proof, you need to make sure that the building is reinforced with steel. And as you can see just over there, some of the raw material that's present, the steel rods just behind us, the bricks and some of the sand. And this structure has been reinforced with tons and tons of steel to help prevent it from any destruction during an earthquake, because we never know when another earthquake could strike this area. And a lot of cost and effort, a lot of money has been put into providing this structure that will stand the test of time. So, work will be starting on this area fairly shortly on the structure that we're starting now, completing the inpatient ward. It will provide approximately 3 wards, each having at least 12 beds, potentially housing 36 to 40 patients, potentially even more. And just next to us is the LRBT hospital, which has its gardens, and we can just see on the side there's the boundary wall dividing us between the children's hospital and the LRBT hospital itself. And there in front of us, just ahead, a few minutes walk, is the main road going towards that way, Mansehra, Hyderabad. The other side, 3 kilometers from here, is New Balakot city, which was constructed in the wake of the earthquake of 2005. And this hospital itself will provide facilities to that area and the surrounding villages and towns that are close within this vicinity. It will save a lot of expenses for the local population who in current times have to travel to Hyderabad to go to the children's hospital, approximately 35 up to 40 kilometers from here. When a child is unwell, that doesn't bode well, having to be transported. The cost that's involved, the time that's involved is not beneficial for somebody who's unwell. We're just going to make our way to the basement. Now, I do apologise if this area looks pretty dark because we don't have any light at this point, but my colleague here will just show us some of the steps that we can see. I'm working my way down to the basement. Now, the basement is a lot of expenses going into constructing this basement. This forms the actual foundation of this building. The amount of steel that's been used, reinforced steel and concrete, to help secure this structure, to help build a resilient structure, earthquake proof. Not a single expense has been spared. Now we're coming towards one of the potential conference rooms, which will be used for postgraduate educational meetings, for doctors' meetings. As you can see, the thickness of these walls, and just posterior to that we have the retaining wall. You can see the structure there with some steel rods protruding from the surface, and looking towards there, that's another entrance. And here you can see the septic tanks. The septic tanks we have there at the back. So this is the actual sanitation has been provided. Is again. Okay, so this is the most bright room at this point because we don't have much sunlight currently at this time, but you're able to appreciate that that's the structure supporting, and all the beams that have been used to support the ground floor and the overall structure of the hospital. We go back, we can see the exit here and some of the other rooms, and the surrounding area, woodland, very quiet, peaceful and serene. A small ravine present close by, but prevent any soil from eroding in this area. This reinforcing wall has provided extra support to the structure. And you can see here, I can just show you, coming close here, you can see the amount of steel that's been used. Some of the ends of the steel still protruding from the supporting wall. And just getting a perspective of the building from the basement. There's the basement, the ground floor, and then we were on the roof where the first floor will be constructed. So that, in essence, was a summary of the hospital, the expense, the material that's been used. Work started in February of 2010, and it's hoped that by July this year, 2011, that the work will be completed. The funds that were accrued and put together to construct the hospital initially had a plan of a basement and the ground floor. The same funds that have been gathered will also be used to construct the first floor, the inpatient department. That's me, Dr. Amir Khan from Doctors Worldwide, giving you a summary of the hospital. Thank you.